All right, let's do this. Day six. I woke up this morning pretty in a dark mood. I had some like pretty awful dreams where people were murdering people, and I don't usually have dreams like that, so I was kind of worried that was like a bad omen. But uh, I, you know, I guess I just kind of let some time pass, and I'm feeling better now, and I think I'm just more awake, and I've had a pretty good day getting work done and getting things done today, and so I'm feeling better. I'm feeling like I had a good day, like I'm trying to always do is create the average day to be good. Um, I watched back yesterday's with my like 30-minute pause and freak out moment, and it's funny. I won't do that again. I realize that that's probably awful, and I don't know what the answer is, but I think I'm just gonna cut off the video if I get stuck, or I'll just like wrap it up. I think that's a better way to handle this. And I mean, like I could edit it all, and maybe I will one day, but it's definitely more like that part is like more embarrassing than like than anything I've had to do so far with this project. And whatever, it's out there. It is what it is. I can't. It's all learning, right? I think the thing that I'm when I think about this in terms of years, and I had a really good conversation with my dad yesterday. He like came down to watch me play hockey, and he stays, and we always go get a drink and talk about life, and it's like the coolest experience. And I'm so glad I don't know who did what, but I feel like I kind of nudged us into doing this, and highly recommend talking to your parents about what their life was like when they were your age, and just decisions they've made up to this point. I could do several days about that. It's just such a cool experience, and it's things you need to know. Like you can't be better than your parents at anything unless you understand what they decided and how they decided it. And in the middle of learning that, you'll get this huge amount of like gratitude and thankfulness, and just I don't every time I talk to my parents about what their life was like in a real way, not in a how was your day kind of way, like in a real way. I I always am reminded that like as a kid you think or you think you see things, and I can before I talk to my parents a lot, I would, and before I was a parent, that's the big driver though, of change. Like until I started feeling what they feel about kids, and being a parent and everything, and loving your kids unconditionally. Before I knew what love was, it was kind of like, they like me, they're trying to help me, I guess, but they don't give me enough attention. They don't do enough for me. They don't do it in the right way, blah, blah. But then when you're like on the other side of the table, and now they're on the same side of the table as you, right? They're because they're the grandparents. They're kind of like, you know, like how can I help? It's interesting because you start to realize the decisions that they made, and the situations they were put into. Um, I don't know. It's your parents are wiser than you think they are. I think that's something that I think every kid realizes eventually. I know that's a cliche, I guess, but I guess I'm meaning in a like a literal sense that they might not give you the advice that you need or you think you need, but it doesn't mean that, like, because the hard thing is the questions that you're going to ask them about are things that happened years and years and years ago, and it's not their fault. Like I'm really 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 struggling to remember what my life was like in a tangible way when I was like 16. Like you just it's hard to hold on to that, and I'm 32, and I really 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 want to hold on to that so that I can talk to my kids better when I'm Jesus, when I'm, oh my God, 50? Wow. 45, 50, when they're in their teens and like in their high school years. I don't know if I can do that. I mean, thank God for like some form of social media and pictures and videos for me to even remember what I was like a little bit. But I mean, that's kind of the point of this project is like I will know exactly what 32-year-old Brian was like in the future because I'm here every day. I'm doing this, and I think it's a good way like to start documenting your reality so that it's there, so that like my kids can watch this when they're 32, and it'll probably be totally useless to them with their problems that they're facing at that time. But at least they'll know they weren't alone. They're not alone in those problems, they I have problems too. I have worries, I have concerns. I want to build the best family possible. I want to help them as much as I can, and I don't know, maybe this is a way that before they have kids, so before they, experience true love, they can get a little bit more of a glimmer of it, you know, before they get that. And maybe they trust me a little bit more to help them with their decisions or with whatever. Maybe they help me, maybe they let me help them a little bit more than they would otherwise because or they think I'm a total nutcase. I mean, that's probably more likely, I guess. Um, uh, but yeah, your parents. What I was saying is things happened so long ago that and I think sometimes those are dark times too. It's hard for them just to come back into them. I don't think I could very well articulate exactly what my day was or my life was or my thoughts and worries were like as a 16-year-old. I think I have a sense of them, but my sense of them are like a memory of a story within a memory. I'm making up. I'm remembering a day I had, or not even a 10-minute moment I had, and then I'm remembering or creating a story based off that memory, and I'm calling that the truth. And I think that's a whole nother topic of like psychology of what is real and what is not real, and how your reality is much different from my reality because we're all feeling and experiencing different things at the same time. Aside from even that part, if I was to watch a video of me doing this at the age of 16, I think I would still think I know better and know more than that person for some reason. It's like such a egotistical hubris thing that it's really hard to accept the fact that the thing the person is saying is true, even if you think it's not, because it's true from it's their opinion. Their opinion is true. It's their opinion. Like if they say I'm feeling this, they're feeling it. And I think that's something we're all learning about with just culture right now. Which is good. It's true that people's feelings are real even if we don't feel them. So my point about my parents is like it's it's so great because in a lot of ways you're seeing what your future is. You're seeing how you're going to see the world in the future. You're seeing how, and when they tell stories about the past, I mean that, like I said, they're kind of, small and little stories, and maybe not the whole thing, but I think you get a glimpse into how much they cared. I think that's the thing I pull out of them. I don't know if I can pull out a ton out of every little story because it's easy to say my reality is different. I don't know if it is. I'm sure I'm trying to make it sound like whatever today, 2023 is special, more special than then. But I don't think I've ever comprehended that my parents probably had 100 conversations, 1,000 conversations about what's the best school for me to go to, what's the best teacher for me to have, what's the safest car for me to drive. As a kid, you're like, I'll jump out of a plane. I don't care. You don't even care. You don't think. You think these people are there to protect you. You think it's normal and their job. It's not my job to protect me. It's their job. It's not my job to worry about me. It's their job. Um, and I think you just get so used to them playing that role that you forget that it's a choice. You know, like on some. I mean, I think love is unconditional, and that it's like kind of a calling to like help that person, I guess. But you forget that that's not. I don't know that like when I spend time considering what's the best school for my children today, I don't view it as work. I don't view it as a chore I need to do. I view it as an investment in them. But it's not for me, you know. I feel like that's a thing that I didn't understand as a child. I thought it was for them in some form. I know it doesn't make sense logically. Why would they like it's like they want me to be this great person so that they're somehow a great person too. Like they want me to achieve amazing stuff. So I think there are some like very emotionally unintelligent parents that think if their kid's a professional baseball player that they are the professional baseball player or some version of that. But I think that's the 2%, you know, and the 98% of parents just want their kid to be happy and loved and successful because that's, you know, how we view winning or good is. And I think for most of my life, thought all parents were the 2%, you know, and because I think that's what all the stories are about and everything. I feel like that's what all the like, yeah, I think the most dramatic experiences are kind of wrapped up in that, like the athletes that get abused, the you know all this the movies and everything where the parents are taking control over the kids, all the emancipation lawsuit people. I feel like we get stuck in that kind of mentality that there's more truth to that, you know, theory that the parents are, you know, it's about them. But I'm here to say I'm gonna pretend to know that I'm average in that way, that it's not about me. Not at all. I mean, great, you're successful, great. Why would I care? I just want you to be the person you want to be and do the things you want to do and not have barriers to that, you know. You could be an artist or a doctor or whatever. I just want life to keep giving you the opportunity to do whatever you want to do with it, you know. I think the wrong thing is the more random projects like this that I take on and I show to my parents, the more they react that way. And it it confused me at the beginning because I was like, but I'm not going to be good at this, you know. But it's not. There's no end in sight. There's no like a degree at the end, you know. There's no like thing that there's no staircase. I feel like most of life is like, what kind of treadmill or staircase are we on to get somewhere? And after school, life doesn't really have a treadmill or staircase anymore. It's kind of like every day is the same. Do whatever you want. There's no like rubric. There's no like get this, do this, get that, do that, get that. You know, there's no like if then statement on life. And when I started to show my parents some of these random projects and things that didn't get degrees and didn't really make more money, or you know, they're always like interested, you know, and want to help for no reason, you know. I don't know. The more I consider my parents to be me, like me, that now that I'm a parent, I feel like I can comprehend how they actually feel better. The more I picture them as me in the future, the more I feel like we're just best friends and twins separated at birth, you know, like, and one of us got pushed into a weird, you know, space-time continuum that starts 30 years ago, and I'm in the present day, you know. And I think if you can do that, I think it's been it's opened my mind to so many things, you know, as far as how to build that relationship, grow, like just, and you just feel like you forget or you never realize how safe it feels to know that there is a human being that is thinking about you all day and worried about you and wants to help you for no reason, all unconditionally forever. Like, I think it's easy to like feel like your parents aren't um, the way you want them to be or whatever, and pick it all apart and only focus on the pieces that feel not, because they'll never be exactly what you. The second they are whoever you want them to be, you'll want them to be something else. So the times when you're focused on the pieces that I won't say you dislike, but it's more like you shrug at. You kind of go, okay, like you're a person. That's great. You can be you. Um, don't focus on those. Focus on they think and dream about helping you. Think of them as like this partner in life that you never had, that you never thought you had. This person, I mean, it's the stupid thing is that they've never changed. They've never not been there. They've always been there. But you like, life is just so crazy. You think of them as this like hindrance or this gatekeeper for so many of your problems and resources and situations and relationships. And maybe they are. I don't know. Maybe they are at different points in your life. And then when you become an adult, they're not. I don't know. I'll have to think deeper on that. At what they were like at what ages of me. But pretty much since I was like, I don't know, 20 something, they've just been a human that only wants to help me on my journey. They're the perfect sidekick to me on my journey. And I've always, I think I've kind of resented them for that. Like go live your life. Like go have fun. Like I don't need you. Don't worry about me all day. I'm okay. I don't need that. And I think like maybe a year ago or a couple months ago, I finally like switched it around and I'm like, what power do I have? What amazing resource do I have? If I woke up tomorrow and some guy showed up on my doorstep and said, I can't explain this, but I am addicted to helping you. I get immense, not sexual pleasure, just like I just get immense fulfillment and I feel so full from seeing you, Brian, you, specifically you, happy. And I'm willing to give you my time, energy, attention, focus, money, everything. I'll give you everything I have, forever to help you do anything you want to do. Any of your goals, anything that makes you happy, I will do your laundry. I will do anything for you. First we would call the cops, get that guy checked out, right? After several psych evals, we would determine he's insane or sane, but probably sane. And because he's addicted to you, he would wear you down. He would keep showing up and keep bothering you. And eventually, maybe one day, you would say, fine. If this is actually what is best for you, fine. I will take your help, whatever that means. Go cut the lawn for me. Go do this for me. Go do that. You would use them as stupid tests for probably quite a while, but that's what parents are, They're just sitting around wishing they could help you more. They don't know how. They don't know what you need, and you don't know what you need too. That's the hard part. But I've never realized how much support and power I have over them. Like they want to help me. And it sometimes it kills them that they can't, you know? So I'm still, I think, figuring out what the best way to have them help me. Because I used to think that them helping me meant something was wrong with me or not good enough about me or something's wrong with them. They need to go live their own life. But the more I have this parent love from having kids of my own, like the more I am able to emotionally, intelligently empathize with them and feel what they feel for that I feel for my kids, for me. And it just blows my mind that this person has been sitting around watching me all my life. Since for 32 years, they've been so happy that I exist. That their one of their goals, if not one of the biggest goals in life of them, is to have me exist. You know, it's like I said, if there was a random guy on the street and his whole life was spent being happy that I exist, we would think he's insane. You know, like we wouldn't want to talk to that guy. You know, that's like the people that chase celebrities around kind of people. Like it's crazy. But I have two people. I have two groupies. I have two people that would chase me around if that would make me happy. You know, if that made me happy, I bet they would do it. And I've just never thought of it that way. And the amazing part is, it makes them happy when they get to help me. Like it makes them feel good. So if they're helping me feel good by helping me achieve my things, whatever they are, or helping me do anything, helping me connect with somebody, I'm feeling better. And when I'm feeling better, they're feeling better. That's the crazy part. Is it's circular. It's compounding. It's symbiotic. It's everywhere, you know? And there's no reason to not lean into it. You know? Why wouldn't you lean into it? Everyone in the relationship is happier and better the more you think of them as a sidekick in your journey that is willing to die for you. I'm not saying that you should use them. I'm saying enjoy them, you know? Like enjoy them. They're not going to be exactly what you want them to be every moment, but like they're there for you, you know? That's the love that I have for me that I don't know. I guess I thought it was weakness or something to use. But I feel so much more full and so much more just comfortable and connected. And I'm losing more and more of my fear of everything. You know, fear of failure, fear of success, fear of trying. I'm losing so much more of that fear the more I realize how many people in my life just want me to succeed or do good things or be happy. Like so many people are sitting around thinking about me and hoping I'm happy. You know, maybe not actively every moment, every day, but like throughout their day or week, they, not just my parents, but other people, my friends, my family, they hear my name. What is the thought that they have? I hope he's happy. I hope he's doing things he wants to do. And I hope him and his family are happy and healthy. And when I start replacing what I originally thought that they would be saying and doing when they hear my name with that, it's so freeing, you know? Because people might say good or bad things or whatever, but like at the end of the day, if you were to sit them down and say like, what do you actually want me to do? That's all they would say. That's all they really want deep down. They might have some jealousy or some envy or some old beefs or whatever, but like when it comes down to it, that's all these people want, you know, and your parents are the number one proponent or fan of that like message. That's all they want. That's all I want for my kids. you know? I I don't know if that means I need to have deep, intimate conversations with them all the time or never talk to them. It's whatever they want. It's whatever they want. I will do whatever they want to help them be happier, be healthier, be anything they want to be. Um, but I never put that, you know, idea on my parents until recently. And it's been so freeing and so nice to finally just feel like someone cares about you. You know, like you spend so much of your life feeling like no one cares about you, no one loves you. And there's two, if not more, humans just sitting around all day trying so hard to care about you in the way you want to be cared about or loved in the way you want to be loved. Like they just want to make you feel good, you know? And they you know, it's not always the way you want or you don't know what you want from them because, you know, I think you just kind of, life happens, you know, like they've seen you in your most weird and vulnerable moments and they're always trying to guide you, and that's sometimes confusing and creates conflict. Because you know, the whole cycle of being a kid is, I think, to reject them and come back to them in the later years when you start to realize, you know, the decisions they made aren't as crazy as you thought they were when you were a kid. But I don't know. I keep coming back to that every time I've interacted with my parents over the last few months, if not year. I've just never thought of them as it's like we're in an RPG game and I'm the main character and they're the sidekick. I've never once thought of it that way. And when I did, I was like, holy crap, this person's sitting around waiting to help me. That's all they're doing all day, you know? And it's not because they don't have a life. It's not because not because I'm going to use them for that or anything, but it's just a feeling of like comfortability and comfort, you know, that you have people on your team that you never noticed. You know, they were sitting there like sitting on the bench saying, put me in. Like I'm ready to help you. I'm ready to do anything for you. And you're just pointing at them and saying like, why are you here? What are you doing this for? Go live your life, you know? But you are their life. I never really understood that. My dad once told me that he would never get a tattoo, but he would get if he had to get one, he would get one of my name and my sister's name on his body somewhere. And when I was a kid, I was like, why? What's so great about me? Why do you want my name on your body? Okay, who cares, right? And it's just different ways to articulate love. I think love is so hard to explain I think parent love is so hard to explain to a non-parent, and especially to a child. I tell my children, I love you, and they tell me I love you back sometimes, and they don't know what the hell they're saying. They don't know why they're saying it or anything. Aside from that whole thing, the process of me saying I love you to my kid, and I say it the most when I'm feeling like there's a disconnect between us, which is ironic, right? Because they interpret the situation as there's a disconnect between my parent and I, my protector and I, the person who is keeping me safe and alive and I. And when that happens, the protector says I love you. And so it's from the parent's perspective, they're throwing a line into the water and saying like, I want to connect and work through this and fix this. I want to connect with you. I want to help you, and I don't know what to do right now. And the child thinks, those are words, you know, like I'm feeling uncomfortable right now. And that's not really describing better. That's really describing a solution. You know, I don't feel what you, I mean, the narrator would say they're not feeling what you're feeling, you know, they're not feeling all of those things that the parent's feeling. They're feeling like their best friend and they are having a fight and they don't know if they're going to be friends anymore. And I've thought about this, and I need to keep working on it. Like, how do I articulate love to my children, knowing that they can't feel it the way I feel it? I think the more I remember they don't feel it the way I feel it, the more the better I communicate with them about everything. Because they don't have this like quantum like entanglement with me. They don't like they kind of are kind of just walking along, and I'm just following them around saying, I no, I want to mow your lawn. I want to do all these things for you. And they don't really feel that. And the ironic thing is, my dad's in his 60s, and I tried to explain that to him, and he didn't really get it for a couple minutes. And I don't know what he was thinking. I'm sure I don't know what he's thinking. I kind of worry about talking to this stuff with him because I don't want to like scare him or upset him. But um, I'm so unbelievably happy. I finally feel what he feels, because I feel like it's opened my eyes wide open what he's gone through, and or more so what he's gone through to help me. And it makes every single story with him in it that much clearer how loved I am, you know. And it's like I'm watching a movie in 3D all this, or in color. I used to watch it in black and white through a peephole, and now I'm seeing it like wide awake in 3D. Anyway, so I was trying to explain this to my dad that like, I feel the love of a parent is crazy. It's totally different. And I didn't really feel that before. And he was kind of like, what do you mean you don't feel love? And I was like, well, I say I love you, and I mean it. But I thought the maximum was like a 10, but being a parent, the maximum was like 100. Like it's just on a whole different level and scale, and unconditionalness. I think as a child, you think that there's conditions on everything you get and do in every relationship you have, because you've never witnessed or felt a unconditional one. You think, right? Because you don't feel those things. And I once I felt it, I tried to explain to him that like I'm on your level now. I feel what you feel for me, and it is surreal because it makes me relabel you as how I would describe all of your actions and worries and struggles and thoughts. I relabel all of them to be for me, not like to me or like with me or at me. It's that they're all for me. They're all for the best thing for me. They're all to best help me in any way you can comprehend how to help me. When I thought they were kind of more self-centered, not that he's a self-centered guy, but it's everyone has a self-centered nature to their personality. And I think the parent love is the one thing that cuts through it and picks that apart, and allows us to die for our kids and jump in front of stuff for them and pick up vehicles for them, and I've heard stories where people black out and they wake up and they've moved the car or fixed the thing, and they don't remember even doing it, right? Like, that's crazy, right? Like that we have that in us, that we have no idea, and when I was explaining that to him, I tried to like soften it because I didn't want to like upset him, but I'm my eyes are wide open now that is true. But him being, like I said, him being in his 60s, I don't know, I'm guessing, but I'm guessing that it's been 30 years of having this feeling, and he kind of forgot what life was like before that. I'm still like in year 2 or 3 of it, so I feel like I have a pretty good memory. I could be wrong. I think I have a pretty good memory of what life was like and what I was feeling pre-kids, and it's a lot more hopeless. It's a lot more like what's the point of this? What are we doing here? Like, I I don't. I mean, it's just things are just so much simpler with kids. Things just make sense, you know. Let's keep this earth moving. Let's keep our people happy. Let's keep advancing the world. You know, why not? Because that world my kids get to have, right? And I will give everything so that they have everything. You know, have anything that they want. And yeah, I told my dad that I'd never felt his love until I was a parent, and I'm sure that freaked him out. And I maybe I shouldn't have been so true and so blunt about it, but it is true. I never felt his love until I became a parent, and then I finally feel what I would hope is 90% of his love, you know, by empathizing with him and putting myself in his shoes. And it just makes me feel like he's on my team, you know. He's here and he's been here the whole time, but I finally noticed him. You know, he's been the ugly girl in the movie all the whole time, and then they make her beautiful at the end, and everyone wants to, you know, be with her. But I don't know what it is. It's when you're a kid, you can't feel that, and therefore you label your parents certain ways and never really um, understand the truth, which is what they're feeling is true, you know, is real, and it's not some game or it's not some ego thing. And it's been super enlightening, and I've talked about this in therapy a lot. If there was a way to feel that without having kids, or a way to give that feeling to a kid, oh my god, you know, what is that worth? You know, what it like, what would you pay, what would you do to know or to give your kids the same feeling you have towards them back towards you, or back towards anything, you know, back to anything they, yeah, this is the parent love, right? Like the egotistical person would say like towards me, but I want them to love something. I want them to feel this too. I want them to, you know, drink the Kool-Aid, whatever it is, on this feeling that you get when you look at them. You know, the, it doesn't have to be about me. I don't. It's whatever it is. I hope it's about something, and I wish I could give it to them. I wish I could explain it to them. I wish they could take a pill and feel it for a minute, what in any direction, because they would understand what the hell I'm doing all day every day trying to help them a lot better, and we'd probably get along a lot better because we wouldn't be fighting about whatever, you know, because they understand me better. But two, it's addictive. It's just, you just want them to experience it, you know. And but it could be about anything, you know. And I think that's a lot why parents want their kids to go into sports, or find something they love, find something like parents are always encouraging their kids to try things and push them. And I'm sure that comes with a lot of like baggage and resistance and, you know, misdirection, misguidance. But I think it's all in a search for the parent to show the kid what love feels like. Love something, please, you know, so we can connect more. The moment you can feel what I feel about anything, the moment empathy starts existing between us in like a real way. I think it's easy to kind of like pretend your way through empathy, but empathy, it just exists. Like I said, 90% or 100% of what my parents are feeling, I can now feel towards them, and feel that towards me from them. And it's just really, really hard. I don't know. Hopefully I meet somebody that has some magic trick that you can use to life hack or mind hack your way to love, or maybe that's the new Elon Musk mind, you know, thing that's coming, the brain chip. I don't know what it is, but I think the whole world would benefit from having any way to explain that phenomenon, and, you know, explain the relationship from a child's perspective with the parent with the parent in mind. So I didn't really plan on talking about all that. But yeah, that's a lot. I wrote down some notes of things I want to talk about, but I think I'm just gonna do this tomorrow. I think every time I spend time with my dad, I kind of just, especially last it's a year, the more I've had kids, the more I'm constantly relearning what life is, because I've spent 30 years of my life thinking, like, labeling them, both of them, as something. And the only thing I've learned is that is totally, totally wrong, and usually the opposite of true. Like, it's not like an omission thing. It's like usually like the things that they do that like annoy me, like just that don't feel right. It's a lot of things. They don't, like, it's the annoying stuff, but it's also like things that just don't feel right. It's because they can't find a better way to articulate their love. The feeling they have, they can't find a better way to tell me what it feels like. They can't find a better way to create connection between us. And then what do we say? We just end up saying "I love you" as a way to proxy it. And like I said, as a kid, you think of that as like a Band-Aid on a problem between you. And then as you grow up, you start to say, like, okay, they mean it as I want you to be near me. I want to be around you. But I've never felt the unconditional nature of it. It's insane how unconditional it is. I always thought there was conditions on my parents' love, and I would have lived an entirely different life if I could comprehend and feel the unconditional nature of it. You think you need to be something or be good or try hard. I needed to get A's in order to get love. I needed to be really good at hockey or something. I needed to practice. I needed to try. I needed to have discipline to earn my parents' love. That's the transactional nature that I created in my head about relationships, And the hard part is you want your kids to have the best life, and so you think that you need to push them, and then I think that's what creates this conditional nature in the relationship. And it's hard because you're at ends, right? You want to help them, but the only way to help them is to start intervening in their life in some form. And that's where you get caught in the details. When to intervene, how to intervene, what do I say, what do I do, when do I push them, when do I not push them, and it's hard. And that's where it comes, like, if the kid felt the unconditional nature of your love, I think both parties will be able to communicate way more effectively on what they need and what they don't need. The more I pretend my parents are just friends from childhood, the more things just make perfect sense to me. They're here to help me, and it's not a like struggle. Like they're trying to help me in the best way they can, and they think they know more, and that's their job. That's how they feel. That's their whole. I almost said job, but I don't think that's true. I gotta stop saying that. But anyways, I'll wrap this up. I think I'm trailing off here. So, yeah, I definitely fluctuated throughout the day, the last 2 days, on thinking this was a good idea, I think this is a bad idea, still feeling like I should quit. I don't know. I think I got some ideas of like how to make this more interesting and valuable to people, and and whatever. We'll get there. And I think the point is to do it, and the value will come later. I will trust myself. And maybe I'll finish that John Mayer story one day about trusting yourself. So I think we're good here. I gotta go pick up the kids, so I'll see you later. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.